Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel. And today I have a book box to share with you that's been sent to me for review. Now before you get confused, I am a paying subscriber of Once Upon a Book Club. I usually do 3 months at a time, but occasionally for a variety of reasons, I might actually skip a box because maybe it doesn't necessarily sound like my cup of tea, or perhaps I just have a really busy schedule or my TBR pile is just getting out of control. And that was the case with the August book selection. It just sounded a little more supernatural than what I usually gravitate towards. But when they offered this box through their VIP program, one, my schedule had opened up a little bit more and we're getting a little bit closer to spooky season. So I thought keep your mind open, Noelle, and give this ghostly tale a try. So they were kind enough to send this box to me for review. It is the, like I said, August Once Upon a Book Club adult selection. Now, if you're not familiar with Once Upon a Book Club, they are the OG book club. They have all kinds of one-time boxes, limited edition boxes. They also have adult, young adult, and middle grader monthly subscriptions. They usually release a hint about the upcoming title in each of those categories well in advance, so you can decide if, like me, you occasionally want to skip. You can also move back and forth between adult or young adult if you just send them a quick email. They are very accommodating and very kind in terms of making those adjustments to your subscription when necessary. It is $49.99 per month, and you can save money if you do a little bit of larger, longer subscription, like I said, how I do a 3-month subscription at a time. I also have a code and a link for you that will save you a little money. It is Noel10, and that'll save you 10%. So I'll leave all of that information for you in the description box below. But you always get, of course, the title. And you can now find out what the title is exactly and not just have to go off the hint. They have made that possibility available to subscribers now. You don't have to just guess and hedge your bets. They also include a 5x7 quote card. They also have a little sticker for those of you who like to keep track, and there's all kinds of items in their shop in terms of keeping track of the titles you've read. You could put it on a water bottle or a poster, or, you could put it on a bookmark. You could do whatever you want, but it is kind of a fun way of like tracking your reading. Inside they always have, and I'm just going to open up the box, this nice little purple interior. They always include a bookmark, usually with a quote from the book. Here is that sticker. It's always this little hexagon sticker that goes along with the theming for the rest of the box. In this case, they also had a very nice signed book plate. I love that. We've got the plaid because it takes place in a Scottish castle. So the title of this box was Castle of Shadows, so it's always more of a hint than the actual title, but the book title was In the Lonely Hours by Shannon Morgan. And then in this guide, they usually do an interview with the author, which I think is awesome. They often also include a note from the author on that 5x7 quote card. Then they have discussion questions if you are running this like a book club. By the way, we do have a book club in the Book Nook, our private Facebook group, if you're ever interested in joining us. We still have one more read for this year that we haven't started, and it tells you the page numbers. And then on the back, there's usually just some supplemental content. So it could be like a crossword or a recipe. In this case, it is just telling us of Scotland's haunted places. So I'm going to move on to show you the book. So we did get a nice hardcover because it is actually a Once Upon a Book Club edition. So they're doing their own printing. I do think that this is a nice touch, the print along the edge of the pages. I think it's supposed to be like a thistle. It says, "Perhaps it's not the dead I should fear." Dun, dun, dun. It's been a while since I've done that. Here is our quote card. So it says, "It is astonishing that we can grow habituated to the strangest of things." I don't know. And then we have our note from the author, which if I have time, I will read it to you. If not, you'll just have to subscribe. I thought that this box was quite good. I did like the book more than I thought that I would. There was one gift that I felt fell short of the mark, but we can talk about that briefly. I almost always feel like when there is a jewelry piece involved, just because of the budget constraints that they have, it's never like a high quality piece of jewelry. It's usually kind of costume jewelry, and I don't usually feel like it adds to the box. I would prefer them to either eliminate it altogether or do more of a usable piece that's just inspired by whatever it's mentioning in the book, or just forego it altogether. Just jewelry is a hard thing to do on a subscription box level within that price of, $50 a box to get a nice hardcover book and then 3 to 4 gifts. Like, I don't expect it to be a high value jewelry piece, but sometimes I feel like it like cheapens the box to have like a not so great jewelry piece. So that, unfortunately, as was the case with our summer book box, was the last item. But you will see that they more than make up for it in the rest of the packaging and the styling. I think they do a great job. So let me read the blurb, and then we'll go through the 3 gifts with the corresponding passages. It says, in a bewitchingly melancholy, thrillingly modern ghost story for readers of Eve Chase, Megan Shepherd, and Lisa Jewell, so just who should read this? I like Lisa Jewell. I like thrillers. The new inhabitants of a centuries-old castle perched on a remote island in northwest Scotland must confront its tragic and terrifying history. All right. On a small island in a remote corner of northwest Scotland lies Mauinoel Castle, owned by its wealthy namesake family for centuries until now. Edwina Nunn is shocked to learn a relative she never heard of has bequeathed the castle to her and its land to her. What awaits Edie and her teenage daughter, Neve, is even more startling, for the castle is home to a multitude of ghosts. Yet there's a strange beauty in the austere architecture and the eerie, bloody waters of Loch na Scothna, the Lake of Shadows, beguiled by a frightened ghost who gazes longingly out of the castle's windows. Edie and Neve are drawn to the legends shrouding the island and the mystery of the Mauinoel Red, a priceless diamond that disappeared decades before. Is the gem really cursed and the cause of the family tragedies that have all occurred on Samhain, Scottish Halloween? As Samhain approaches once more, Edie and Neve race to peel back the dark secrets entwining the living and the dead. A twisted story of bitter cruelty and hidden love, or will they become another Mauinoel tragedy trapped in the lonely hours? So that's where the title comes from. So I know it's Samhain, but people pronounce it Samhain. I have a hard time when I'm reading and thinking that. I mean, there's also a bunch of Scottish characters in here, and even though in my brain I think of them speaking with a Scottish accent, I won't subject you to that, even if it comes up in the passages that we have to read. But I just, I thought it was kind of fun to have like this Gothic tale, and it seemed like the right season for it. They do occasionally include some extras in the book pages, which have kind of replaced what I used to refer to as paper gifts, which, if there was a letter in the novel, they would actually type out the letter or have someone handwrite it, and I never felt like that really added to it. But in this case, they do sometimes add some sound with like a QR code. So for example, there's mournful piping skirling through the passage, and they actually have some, the music to go along with to give you the whole vibe. So I appreciate little touches like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the gifts. There were a lot of ghosts. There were just a lot of characters, honestly. But I did enjoy the book. There are a couple like loose ends that I felt like didn't necessarily need to be in there. But it kept me guessing for the most part. I was confused as to at a certain point as to which ghosts were really ghosts and which ones were fabricated. But we have Lovely, again, the thistle pattern, this page 88. This would make a great shoe bag, so I'm always trying to think of ways to use the packaging that they have in Once Upon a Book Club boxes. Page 75 with some nice thistle wrapping paper. And then finally, we have page 304. So yes, there was a big gap, but you could hear often it's a little bit more spaced out throughout the novel, and I do prefer that when they are able to do that. But they have to go with whatever the gift-inspiring passages are. So as you probably guessed from that little blurb, that little teaser, the Mauinoel Red, right, is this gem that is supposedly the source of the curse, which it really isn't. But I knew that priceless diamond was probably going to inspire one of the gifts, and that's again where the little bit of a letdown was. Not terrible, not terrible, but I would have preferred them to have just given us something else, or something a little bit more just evocative versus a literal, fake stone. All right, so page 75. Let's get back to the good stuff. I just wish we didn't have to end with that one, So this is what it looks like when you turn to the page. It says open your gift, and they usually have it right there on the passage. So it says, let's see, I think this is Eve looking around the castle. Stepping quietly back into the bedroom, she picked up a framed photograph from the bedside table of a man holding a baby in a small garden of a terraced house. He was slickly handsome, his pale eyes blazing with fatherly pride. Assuming it was Cameron with his father, she went to put the frame back where she'd found it, then sucked in her breath at the sudden spike of iciness brushing against her skin. The frame tumbled to the floor. She wasn't alone. The air was freezing, hostile, slithering around her in pinching wisps. She wanted to run, but her legs had taken root, her chest hitchingly painful with fright. She licked her suddenly dry lips and whispered, "Who's there?" So, ghostly. Again, I'm not usually one for ghost stories in the supernatural, but I wanted to give it a try. And since they were willing to send it to me as a VIP read, I was like, all right. So, and I did enjoy it. And the gifts did sort of make it more fun. So here is page 75. You guys, while we're at it, let's actually have a secret password. So it's going to be ghost, because you know, we're getting to ghosty season. Now, when you come across the secret password in one of my videos, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form linked for you in the description box below. Please don't put it into the comments. And then about 5 days into the following month, I will close the entry form. And then a few days after that, I will use a random number picker to select a few winners to receive mystery boxes as my way of saying thank you for watching my videos. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US or Canadian mailing address, and you do have to be subscribed to my channel. Again, it is not affiliated with YouTube or any of the boxes that I open here on the channel. It is just my way of saying thank you so much for watching my videos. Today's secret password is ghost. So this was actually a cool item. We have a little photo frame, right? Because she found the photo frame, and it even says that it's a magnetic photo frame. I haven't actually pulled this out yet, so I thought that was cool. And then we have a little card here. So it has the photo frame, it tells us what it is, and then on the other side it has a quote. It says, "I will not be scared of a ghost." I mean, I feel like those are famous last words in any like horror movie or ghost movie, right? Or book. So here it's just a little plastic frame, but you can see they actually put the image that was described in the book pretty close. I don't know that he's slick, but he just looks like a happy father looking at his son. And then it just has this big old magnet on the back so that you can put it on your fridge or file cabinet or whatever. But I thought that was a cute item, you know. It's not like a classic antique frame, but close enough and a fun item that you could actually use. And that's what I'm always looking for in a Once Upon a Book Club gift. Next, we have on page 88, just a few pages later, let's see if I can find it, a big gift. All right, let me see if I remember. Oh yes, this was a good gift. So the first two, great. It says, I'm not sure if it's Neve or Nev. I'm going to say Neve. Neve's breathing didn't slow into sleep. In silence, the nuns listened to the castle, tensed, waiting for something else to happen. So they wind up sleeping in the same room most of the time because they hear all these things. There's these ghosts. And it's very strange to me that after a while, they're just like, oh no, that ghost is harmless. That ghost doesn't mean us any harm. And they are okay with it. Like there's some ghosts, like the most likable character in the whole novel is a ghost. And after they realize that he's a ghost, and they're just like, oh yeah, the castle's haunted, but you know, you only have to be scared of this one ghost, or we only have to figure out this other ghost's like deal and why she's so angry. They just kind of go along with it. Like, and I feel like I would not be okay with ghosts haunting my inherited castle, like to the point where I'm staying in the castle. That was my like where my willing suspension of disbelief was a little taxed. I was like, oh, okay, I guess in this world we're just okay with ghosts. Neve's breathing didn't slow into sleep. In silence, the nuns listened to the castle and tensed, waiting for something else to happen. The night was still as a tomb. Whatever roamed the hills terrified the living and the dead into acute silence, but for the regular skitter of little clawed feet, rats, ghostly or otherwise, feared nothing. I actually failed to read the passage that this gift is inspired by. So even before that, Edie switched on the light again and lay with the covers drawn up to her chin. So I'm thinking you're feeling grateful that it's not a ghostly rat, because that's the other thing that it could have been from that passage. It is some covers that you can pull up to your chin. And they did a great job with this because we have gotten kind of cool woven blankets before, but they've often had a quote from the book printed into them. This one is just pretty nice. It's Edie's blanket. It's 53 by 61 inches. It's cotton polyester, but look, it's pretty nice. And it doesn't have like a goofy picture of a ghost. It's just got this really pretty thistle pattern on it. It's pretty thick. And you heard by those dimensions, it's large. So it's just printed on the one side. So on the reverse side, you get this like contrast. But doesn't that look like something that could be in a Scottish castle? Like it looks like a old blanket or tapestry. And I thought it was actually very pretty. So it's washable, it's big, it'd be great for fall at the end of a bed or just as an extra blanket. So this, I was like, all right, Once Upon a Book Club, good gift, well done. You know, it was just a like quick little mention of it, and this was their interpretation. It's not a sheet, it's not necessarily a blanket that's described in the book, but it's nice quality, and it doesn't have like Once Upon a Book Club like emblazoned all over it. It doesn't have like words, it doesn't have like word art or quotes on it. So win. This is one of the better gifts that I've gotten from Once Upon a Book Club lately. There have been some boxes, you guys, where I felt like they knocked it out of the park and every single gift was really great and usable. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it's like a 2 out of 3 situation. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. That they're kind enough to let me give you my honest opinion. But I will say that no matter what, even when it's like the gifts aren't my personal taste or something that I will personally use, it does add to the experience. All the extras, the quote card, the guide, the bookmark, the sticker, it all really does add to the experience, and that's what I think they succeed at every single time. All right, finally, we have the last gift, which I apologize for already foreshadowing my personal disappointment with it. Like I said, it is not the worst Once Upon a Book Club jewelry piece that I've ever received, but I just feel like it would be safer for them to steer clear of that. I don't know. But again, I'm one person, so I'm sure some people absolutely love all of their jewelry pieces that they've gotten from Once Upon a Book Club. All right, so Edie's first instinct was to recoil from the diamond, wanting no part of it. The power it held over its owners and those who'd coveted it terrified her. It would always be a danger to Neve and herself when desire twisted into unhealthy obsession, like it had for Cameron Kincaid and his father, and Lady Elizabeth. So yes, it is the Mondro Red. But as she gazed into the Mondro Red's dark heart, she felt its pull, its allure. Her fingers itched to snatch it away from her daughter, hold it in her hand, never let it... my precious. But instead with a Scottish accent. All right, so here we go. Fun with the plaid, right? Goes with the whole Scotland vibe. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sure that the audiobook for this is probably fantastic. And then I would know how to pronounce Samhain and Neve and get some really good Scottish accents in there. All right. So we got this nice velvet jewelry case. I like when I opened this, I was like, all right, promising, promising. Nice presentation. And then we have, in plastic so that it doesn't tarnish, a little brooch pin. It says the Mondro Red. It says how to use. Add a unique touch of style to any outfit. Unscrew the pin cap and stick the pin through your scarf, tie, lapel, or shirt, and replace the pin cap to secure. So again, we got like this little business card. We're doing nice like cardstock for these. So this is what it looks like. It's just a faux jewel. It's a little big, but I get what it's for. So you unscrew this and you could put this, like they suggested, on a lapel, like through the little buttonhole. It is nice and sharp. You could definitely put it on a hat if you wanted to. Usually that looks really nice going across. It is a nice dark color, so I don't know how to screw that back on. It's like soft. So let's see. It is a nice dark red, but it also just, you know, it's so big that it's never gonna look like a real gem. And I guess that's kind of the case with all costume jewelry. You could definitely use it for Christmas since we are approaching that season. It would probably look nice on a lapel pin, or, you know, I'm wearing green right now, so definitely could be a little bit of a Christmas accent. But for me personally, like I said, it's not something that I would probably use just because it is kind of an antiquated item. It would have been, I don't know what else they could have done that honestly would have satisfied me to represent the Mondro Red. I feel like they could have just, you know, sidestepped that altogether, and that's kind of what I want them to do with most jewelry pieces, but I feel like it's just lately that I've read a couple of books where a jewelry piece really did take center stage as almost a character, so I feel like they felt like they had to acknowledge it in the gift lineup. But I usually feel like the gifts are more successful when there isn't a jewelry piece in it. That's my only like constructive criticism. Otherwise, I was pleasantly surprised by the book. I liked it more than I thought I would. Apparently, more people are okay with ghosts than I would be. But altogether, I thought it was a delightful book, as well as a delightful curation. I don't know how they could improve the execution of the jewelry pieces, but I guess I appreciate that they try. So if you are looking for a way to get back into reading, and I know that that's something that Once Upon a Book Club really helped me with, consider the subscription. It is fun. If there's something that sounds like you might not want to read that, you can skip that box. But sometimes it's also good to give things a try that might not be in your comfort zone and you might actually like it. So thanks so much for watching this video. There was a secret password if you missed it, and I will see you very, very soon in my next unboxing.